Happy Saturday, guys. So let's talk about a final expense telephone script. How important are they? For me, selling so many years, especially over the telephone, I'm telling you, it's the number one secret that a lot of you guys are missing. And that is that you don't have a solid script, proven script that you can fall behind and go to work with every day. That truly is the number one secret to having success over the phone. Having a predictable sales pitch every single time and knowing how to close deals. Because let me tell you what happens. And I have done thousands of presentations over the telephone, documented. So at least for the last 10 years, I've documented every single presentation I've made, or a good 95%, because I've made a lot of presentations over my cell phone that I truly didn't completely document. But 95% of all the presentations I've made, I've documented. And it's been several thousand over the telephone. So trust me, I've heard it all. But let me tell you something that happens. Because not only have I made a ton of presentations, but also I sell leads to agencies and agents that call themselves telephone agents. But what typically happens with an untrained telephone rep, when they are faced with an objection or a distraction, they're going to ramble, they're going to sound unsure, and the worst part, they're going to give up by, giving into the client's objections or distractions and giving up, thinking that they're going to get them at a later date. And guess what? People never pick up the phone. So they lose. And that happens all the time. So I wrote down some pointers here today that I wanted to share with you guys on how you guys can have more success over the telephone. One, I do want to encourage you to go in the comment section, check out my training both in Spanish and in English of exactly how we sell insurance. There's no secret to what it is that I do. I don't charge for it. In fact, it's free. You can see it on my website. And anyone that works for me and works with me, they can tell you that that is the exact training that we follow and we train our agents. But it's important that you understand that buyers are going to throw a curveball at you every time you get on the phone. These people are interested. They're calling into an ad. But just because they called into an ad does not mean that they're laydowns. It doesn't mean you're going to be dealing with people that have great personalities. In fact, on the contrary, you're dealing with people that have short fuses. They want a quote now. They want information now. And if you don't know how to handle that, you're going to lose money. So how do you fix it? Again, by having a well-memorized sales script that works. Not only that, but having that sales script 100%, but also making sure that your closing is 100%. And why is this so effective? Well, let me explain this to you. 80% of objections are predictable. Let that sink in. 80%. And with final expense, we don't have a whole lot of objections. Let me think about it. Let me talk it over with my wife, my husband. Let me think about how much I can afford. Not many objections. So by having a script well memorized, you're going to be able to handle these objections, and you're also going to be able to know how to respond to those objections or distractions. Sometimes They're not objections. They're just distractions. For example, is this life insurance? Premature questions. Distractions. Look, I myself, like I've said, have made thousands of presentations, and I can count the objections down to about 6. So by having a well-structured script, you're able to avoid a lot of those objections or handle them within the script that you have. So I recommend you guys check out the training here in the bottom section. It's an hour and 20 minutes in English. In Spanish, it's almost 2 hours. But let me tell you, it's the exact same training. And if you implement that training, you're going to have success. It's a very simple approach to how we sell insurance. But once again, when you're able to do it, you're going to have a more predictable outcome. Again, people are calling into an advertisement looking for a final expense quote. And if you don't know how to complete a presentation, handle these objections, give a good presentation, you're going to struggle. And one of the things that I'd recommend you guys do is practice. Work on the objections. And if you'll notice in my training, I break it all down. Memorize the responses to the distractions, to the objections. Role play. Record yourself. Sometimes we feel that we sound a certain way, and then when we listen to ourselves on a recording, we find out we sound totally different than what we thought we were sounding like. So again, if you're going to have success over the telephone, you got to have a script. And I hope these reasons really help you understand why. Again, go check out the training here in the bottom section in both Spanish and in English. And if you'd like to see it firsthand, I run training sessions from Monday to Friday. And if you're licensed, I'll be more than happy to show you exactly that training in real life so you can see how it works out when clients are giving us objections, distractions, and hey, if I can do it, you can do it. But I will tell you one thing. If you think that not having a well-prepared script is not going to help, well, it's going to hurt you. Because most of the people that don't have a process that they follow exactly every time, and on the contrary, they do a different approach every time, they struggle because they don't have a consistent way of doing things when it comes to selling. And I see it all the time myself. So again, I personally sell insurance, and I'd be more than happy to show you firsthand. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and see you guys at the top. Peace.